Hey, good morning. It's Silver Star. All right, today's one of the days. I promised you that this week we were going to show you how to bench test a relay. In other words, diagnose a relay. Relays, electrical, all that kind of stuff is the magic voodoo that a lot of people struggle with because you can't see it. You can definitely touch it because when it shocks you, you're going to know. So one of my pet peeves is when I see a technician, well, let's just swap relay to relay and things start working. Yep, that's going to work. That if you got a bad relay and you pop a good relay in there, yep, it's going to show you. It'll start working. But is that really diagnosing? Is that really testing the component? Also, if you get into it and you remove the covers off a relay, which I've got the cover off this relay, and you're looking internally, is the relay burnt? Is there too much voltage getting to it? What is the voltage getting to it? How much amperage is running through that relay? Those are all questions you need to ask yourself as a diagnostician. Not just, oh, I swapped the relay and it works. Yeah, because the chances are it may be coming back on you because whatever cooked the first one may be cooking the second one. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this camera down a little bit more so we can just see what's on the table here. And you guys, I've got things set up. And I want you to remember, there are 4 circuits on a relay. Circuit 30, which is constant power. Circuit 87, which is the output to the component that the relay is controlling. Circuit 85, which is the ground circuit to a relay. And circuit 86, which is the control circuit. That's the guy, when you touch a blower switch button, that's controlling what the relay is going to shoot voltage to. It could be a starter relay telling the starter to crank over the engine. Could be a blower motor relay. Could be a fan cooling relay. There's multiple relays on a vehicle. But the point of the relay is to take that voltage, kind of break it down a little bit, and send it out there so you don't have to have just ungodly amount of voltage to everything going on. The relay kind of helps do that purpose to where it relieves a load on circuits. So, and it is a protection device, so guess what? Wiring don't catch on fire. So that's one of the other things. Same thing as a fuse, a circuit breaker. They all have the same basic principles. The difference is the relay is a controlling factor. All right, now let's get this camera down where we can kind of see stuff a little better. Okay, now what we've got here is you got your DVOM. You're going to set your DVOM to ohms, okay? Leads are going to be just as follows. Do not put it in the amps lead. I repeat, do not put your red lead into the amps lead. It goes into the voltage ohm lead. Now, these are going to be hooked on circuit 30 and circuit 87. I've made some wires that go on with some female ends to slip over the connection of the relay. Now, what I'm going to do is we're going to look at this. I'm going to get a good spot so you guys can see that. See how it says OL right now? Now watch what happens when I engage this relay. Are you ready? Okay, did you see that go down to basically no ohms, tenth of an ohm, something like that? We'll look one more time. Yeah, we're at 0.1, a tenth of an ohm. That shows that the relay made contact. Yes, you can hear it clicking. But the main point was, what was this lead? If you want to go to a one that makes a sound, let's see. Beep, you can hear the beep. That's another way of verifying that your ohms lead is hooked up and it's getting good continuity. So, that right there is how to bench test and diagnose a relay. It's not that complicated. But you would be amazed at how many technicians won't do that. They won't do it. A lot of them don't know how to do it. I've taught many a tech, training and everything, and I've had to show them sometimes over 10 times how to do it, and it's still a struggle. I get it. If that's not your forte, it's not your forte. No harm, no foul. But when the diagnostician, a true diagnostician, is saying, hey, I bench tested your relay, you have a little firepower, and I say, oh, really? How did you do that? I'd love to know how you did it. Oh, well, I hooked some wires up to it and stuck my meter to it, and I checked for powers and grounds. Powers and grounds. You don't check powers and grounds at a relay, folks. You check that on the vehicle. The power and ground is what plugs into it. You're checking to make sure the relay, when it is supplied power and ground, will close the circuit and send power out, which is what you're looking at on that meter. But anyway, hey, it's Wednesday. August is literally around the corner. We've got a cool down coming up starting tomorrow. I don't know how to react. It's going to be like 84 degrees here in the afternoon tomorrow. I'm going to be like a kid in a candy store, jumping around. But, you know, it's August. It's Oklahoma. You know, we know it's going to be hot. Let's just try to be kind to each other, smile, and remember, when you wake up every day, tell yourself it's going to be a good day. And believe it or not, in the big picture of a full 24-hour period, every day's a good day, folks. All right, Silver Star is out. We'll see you again next week with some other videos, and we will go back to some more of the basics and maybe get a little more technical. Talk to you later.